The Johnski is a YouTube channel run by and run for people over the age of 13. People under the age of 13 should click off of this video right now, or watch with a parent or guardian. Viewer discretion is advised.
You don't scare me!
Miltus freaking Today Militiamen, my name is King Prime, and welcome back to another video here on the YouTube channel. Today we're going to be taking a look at another brand new figure from Star Wars The Vintage Collection. This is the Star Wars The Vintage Collection The Mandalorian, Migs Mayfeld. And I'm not going to lie, I'm going to forget Migs' name like 10 times. I can only ever call this figure Bill Burr. It's actually really funny. I've referred to him as Bill Burr twice or 3 times in previous recordings of this very video, in which I've screwed up big time, and it's really funny. Anyway, let's just take a quick look at the packaging that this comes in. Up at the top here, you have the very nice deep red Mandalorian trades here for the Vintage Collection. You have a red backing, Migs Mayfeld, a picture of Bill Burr, because that's who it is. The counter trades down here at the bottom of the card. On the back, you have some other figures that are offered. The Mithril, who I have. Quill, I have. Bib and Lobot, don't care. Koska Reeves, Bo-Katan, and Axe Woves, who these two I have. This one's on pre-order, and this one was pre-ordered but canceled by Target because fuck you, Target. It's actually a running joke at this point on my channel that this Migs Mayfeld figure, which I wanted so bad, was canceled by Target. I had pre-ordered it, and they canceled my pre-order. Well, guess what? Today I go to my own local Target, and what's waiting on the shelf but 5 of these guys? So I bought one. And now I can give Target the big fuck you. And now I have a Migs. So, thanks, Target. Big red assholes. Anyway, that's about it for the card. These are all the same. I say it in every video. All the same card. Only really care about them if you're a carded collector, of which I'm not. Freeze frame.
What are you, a fag?
Freeze frame unfreeze. And here is the figure. This figure, while it's good, it could really be better. I'm not going to lie. From a visual standpoint, this figure is phenomenal. This would be a very nice army builder figure if I wanted 70 Bill Burrs, but I unfortunately don't. Retro Blasting, who's a very popular 80s, 90s, some 70s type YouTuber who reviews a lot of old nostalgic stuff, has made a very good point about these in disguise Star Wars figures, kind of like Han or Luke, and now Migs and Din, where they have incognito mode. You can just pop a helmet on them and they become an army builder.
The second non-Return of the Jedi figure is Luke Skywalker in Stormtrooper disguise. This figure could have been really cool. He had that removable helmet, he was a legitimate variation on Luke that had a lot of play value, and he could serve double duty as a standard Stormtrooper.
You put the helmet on.
Yeah, and that's
what, like any other dude.
That's how I played with my Luke. He was an extra Stormtrooper. Never have too many of those.
That would be a very valid point if I really wanted 70 Bill Burr figures, but I don't. So I'm going to get Din from Morak and then call it a day because I don't want 7 Bill Burrs. This figure, though, it looks really good. Even from a visual standpoint, if you want to just have Migs standing there, that is an excellent Bill Burr head sculpt. The photoreal technology, I've said it once, I said it again, works extremely well with these 3 3/4 inch action figures. This looks like Bill Burr. It's really funny to me that Bill Burr hates Star Wars, and now A, he's in it, and B, now he's an action figure, and I can fuck with him. It's really funny. But the figure itself, I'm not going to lie, it's not that great. Just going over real quick, you have some very nice OD green, kind of like Imperial Army, not quite Stormtroopers, but Imperial Army Trooper vibes going on. You have a nice chest plate with some grime and dirt and scratches on it. The fatigues underneath the uniform are brown and dingy. His belt is worn and, well, brown. His holster holds his weapon nicely. And his fatigues on his pants, I'm not gonna lie, they are literally just Shore Trooper legs with extra steps. And this is what I hate about this figure. The Shore Troopers, and, well, Migs, is arguably like the coolest thing of new Star Wars. You know, I really like the storyline with Migs Mayfeld. I really like the shore troopers and their design. The figures are atrocious. So from the waist down, this figure is a shore trooper. So if you have the 3 3/4 inch shore troopers, you have the bottom half of this figure. And even though the weathering is nice and the sculpt is good and the coloring is very nice, this figure kind of sucks. And I'll talk about why in a second when I do the articulation. Real quick though, let me just run by the accessories this figure comes with. You have the removable helmet, which is a Imperial tanker helmet. And you also have this SE-14C blaster pistol, which was one of the best guns in Star Wars Battlefront 2015. He can hold it pretty well. Let me just get it in his hand real quick. Nice trigger finger holding it there. And I'm not going to lie, even though he holds it well, it still kind of comes out of his hand. And that's due to the reason that this is made of the same gummy plastic that was in the Mandalorian Super Commando, or the previous review. He holds it well, but actually, well, now it's proving my point wrong. It doesn't come out of his hand very often, but it's still just kind of meh. And you can definitely tell because of the scope. The scope bends around every time you want to put this thing in the holster, and I'll demonstrate that now. It takes a minute to figure it out as well, but the scope is supposed to go on the outside of the holster, and then the barrel and like this little front nub part is supposed to go in it. So you just saw the scope flex there. I guess it's supposed to flex so that it doesn't break, but it's kind of really annoying because now it flares out. I don't know. The angle's weird. I don't really like it, but I can live with it at least. So, going on with the articulation, we have a nice dumbbell joint at the head. Let me decapitate Bill Burr here for a second. You can see the dumbbell joint there. You have a pretty good outward hinge joint at the shoulder, with a nice little divot right in the top here for the shoulder piece, which is very nice. I like that a lot. You also have a 360 degree range of motion here at the shoulder. A pretty decent elbow bend. It goes up just a little bit more than 90 degrees, as well as an inverted hand situation, which I'll explain to you why. No, it's not like this is his left hand and then this is his right hand. It's interesting. Also, I'm just noticing here that there's a missing paint detail on the back of his shoulder, or his hand plate right there, but that doesn't really bother me that much. I'm talking about this is usually the hand that goes up and down, but this one goes in and out. Whereas this one is usually the one that goes in and out, but it goes up and down, which I find very interesting. I think this is more because of the pistol, and to be in all honesty, this is probably the reason why they've done this, because there's a very infamous scene in The Mandalorian Season 2 where Bill Burr caps a guy, and they want to be able to recreate that scene in this figure. But it just caught me off guard. It's not bad, it's not good, it's just, interesting. Now I get to the lower half of this figure. Whereas up here you have a nice ab crunch, so you can do some sit-ups. Oh yeah, and then you can also do the but it doesn't really work that well. The hips, and mind the angle here, are old Shore Trooper hips, which I hate. In fact, I hated the legs of these Shore Trooper hips even when they were Shore Trooper hips. I always got these things messed up. You have the in and out, and then you have to rotate the hip itself and turn it forward, and then turn his knee either at the knee or his thigh cut to make sure his leg is down, but it's just so goddamn tedious. It's really annoying. And more than that, even though you do have an upper thigh cut right there, so you have a swivel, the knee joints barely bend. It's like a less than 90 degree angle, so it's really annoying. You can't get any dynamic poses with this figure at all, especially since it doesn't have an ankle pivot. It only has a very, very weak hinge. It can go like half a degree. It's really sad, but you know what? This figure, I'm not going to lie, even though I like Migs Mayfeld, I know that at some point they're going to pull out a heist version of Migs, so we're not going to have him in an Imperial uniform. This figure is going to become a army builder, and he's just going to sit on a shelf and look pretty. Real quick, let me do a freeze frame so I can get some comparisons in here. Freeze frame. Freeze frame on freeze. Let me zoom out a little bit. Here we have with him, we have our Boba Fett figure. we have Fennec Shand, and we have Din Djarin, who's just about the only other friend or ally of Migs in this circumstance. And that's how they look next to each other. Din is still the tallest of all of the figures that I have right now, except for Darth Vader, but I won't bring him in here because that would be scary. So that's that. Pretty nice looking next to other figures, but still super basic. He's just going to go next to all my Imperials in my Imperial display. So let me get another freeze frame here, and let me give you my final thoughts. Freeze frame.
I hate the council. What do they know? I'm definitely worthy of becoming a master.
You know what, Anakin? Even though the council doesn't see you as a master, deep down in my heart, I still do.
Oh, thanks, Grogu. You know what? Just for that, don't come to the Jedi Academy tomorrow.
What?
Freeze frame, unfreeze. So, I'm not gonna lie, I'm kind of disappointed by this figure. I had really high hopes for it. Like I said, it did become kind of a running joke on my channel that the Target guys canceled my pre-order for this figure, which I was very sad about because I was looking forward to this. I had pre-ordered this figure, and then I had also pre-ordered the Morak Din so that I could have 2 Imperial drivers when all is said and done, that I can just shove that helmet on and pretend that they drive my tanks. But now I actually have him, and I'm kind of disappointed. This figure is mid at best. The articulation is just atrocious, even though the detailing is very nice and the head sculpt is phenomenal. There's just a lot holding this figure back, and I'm sorry to say that because I really wanted to like it. Anyway, my friends, if you like Migs or Bill Burr or any of the Star Wars Vintage Collection figures from The Mandalorian, make sure you share this with all your friends, your Facebook groups, what have you. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. Yes, down there. That's going to be it, my friends. Take care, and as always, peace.